Hey guys, it's Ernesto. Good evening and welcome back to another Monday critique. If this is your first time here, welcome. I sincerely appreciate you guys joining us. I'm just going to walk you guys through some basic stuff to let you guys know how you could submit your images should you choose to submit your images for the Monday critique, and then we're going to jump straight into it. Okay, so let me first switch to my desktop and show you guys the group, which is on Facebook, and that's the group where you could submit your images. Okay, so let me do that. So get my desktop and switch. Okay, so if you guys wanted to submit your images to be critiqued, there's a group called Fine Art Photography and Modeling. That group is on Facebook. So currently that's the only way you could submit your images on Facebook. So if you do a search for Fine Art Photography and Modeling on Facebook, you should be able to find this group, or you can punch in this URL into your address bar and you should also find the group as well. Once you find the group, if you're not already a member of the group, you got to request to become a member. And once you request to become a member, then you get prompted with 3 questions, 3 photography related questions. If you answer those 3 questions, you get let into the group. If you don't answer those 3 questions, you're not let into the group. It is as simple as that. All right, so once you are in the group, there's a specific pin post at the very top of the group. And at that pin post is where you're gonna basically come to that pin post, go to the comment section, and just like everyone else, you will submit your images in the comment section for critique. And that's generally how it works. Okay, so go ahead and do that if you haven't already done that. All right, so tonight we're gonna be reviewing 2 specific images that were submitted. That's what we do every night. We review, well, not every night, every Monday night. We review 2 images every Monday night. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And as I review these images, the way I review these images, if you're new to the Monday critique, the way I critique it is I look at 4 things generally: light, posing, composition, and post-production. Those are the 4 areas that I generally look at when I'm reviewing every single image. I generally review portrait images because I'm not really a landscape shooter. So that's mostly what I review. All right, so while I'm reviewing those particular sections, what I would ask you guys to do is basically just go into the comment section like Jerome did here. Hey Jerome, what's up? And put your comments in the comment section and make this an interactive conversation. Okay, so if you see something in the image that I didn't see, or you may have disagreed with something that I said, or you just have a different perspective on the particular image, feel free to jump in there in the comment section so that we can have a conversation about it. Now, one of the I love Deviant, I believe he just said he just submitted a request to Facebook. So since we're here, right, and I'll show you guys how that worked. So these are the 3 questions that you get prompted with, okay? And Bobby basically answered the questions, so Bobby will get let into the group automatically, just like so. So you guys go ahead and request to join the group, and once you request, you get added in just like Bobby just did there. All right, so let's begin here with the very first image. And like I said, as I go through these images, it will be awesome if you guys could put comments in the chat section so that we can have an interactive conversation. Okay, so the very first image here was submitted by Shawnee, I hope I'm saying that right, Shawnee Thomas. And this image was shot with a Canon 70D utilizing natural light. Now, first thing I'm going to start out here with is light. Okay, so when I'm looking at this image, obviously, like Shawnee said, they're using natural light in this particular case. Now, I'm not really sure how much flexibility the creator of this image had when they were creating this image. I don't know if it was like you know, a spur of a moment thing or something like that. But if this was more of a snapshot and there wasn't anything, you know, to try to be creative with the particular image, if this was just a snapshot, then, you know, it is what it is. You capture it in the moment, and the light, it is what it is. But the light, when I'm looking at this image, is just a little bit flat. It doesn't really add any dimension to the particular image. When I'm viewing images, I like to add like depth and dimension into the particular image. But if it's a snapshot and you capture it in the moment, it is what it is. It's properly exposed, you know, and you could see your subject. So that's the important part. So yeah, I don't think I have much more to say with respect to the light. The only thing I would suggest is that, going back to the depth and dimension, if you were actually trying to create a portrait here and it wasn't just a snapshot, I would just try to get the light to be in either one direction, either the right or left, right? And if that, in that way, if you have the main light coming in from the left or the right, let's say it's coming in from the right, on the left hand side it will be in shadow, and that way it would add depth and dimension to your image. So that's the only thing I would say there. Wonderful catch lights in the subject's eyes. I like that. So overall, I think for what this image is, I really think it's fine. Okay. Moving on. So guys, again, those are all my comments I had to say with respect to the light. So if you guys see anything else in this image about the light, you know, drop those comments in the comment section. But I'm going to move on now to the posing in this particular image, which there's not much anything to say about the pose here, but because I really think when I say pose, I'm talking more not only body parts and limbs and stuff like that. I'm also talking about expression. So when I look at this image, I was looking at this image for a little bit, and at first I was like, I'm not really sure what is trying to be communicated here. But going back to my initial point that I was saying at the top when I was talking about light, I really think this was more like a snapshot. I don't think this was really a planned portrait session with someone. I just think this was a snapshot. They were playing around, and you know, the creator of this image is basically captured at that moment. So from a posing perspective, there's really not much to say from a posing perspective with respect to this image. I love the connection that the subject have with the camera. I would have loved to see maybe his lips, you know, a little bit, maybe above the water a little bit more. But, you know, it is what it is. I like it. I like the way, you know, the subject is connected to the camera. That's all I could say about this with respect to the pose, because there's really no pose. It's just person's head, right? So I guess the only thing you can focus on is the expression. And as far as the expression, I love the fact that he's connected to the camera, and that is cool with me. So I'm going to move on to composition. So guys, put comments down below if you see something differently with respect to the posing or expression in the comments, so we can have a conversation about this particular image and we can move on. All right, so as far as the composition, you know, some folks generally don't like when you put a subject dead center in the image. In this particular case, I think it works. I think you fill the frame nicely with this subject, which allowed me to connect a little bit more with your subject because I'm looking, you know, directly at the subject's eyes. So from that perspective, I think you really did a great job at your composition. All right. So now let's move on to the post-production. So in the post-production, here's where we're going to get to the top of, here's where we're going to get to the subject of tonight's title. right? Which is basically how to correct the white balance in Photoshop. So when I'm looking at this image, the white balance is slightly off, okay? Generally, when you're working with or trying to utilize, get correct color in camera or get the right white balance in camera, there's a couple of things that you need to work with when you're capturing the image in order to make sure that you get the right white balance. And one of those things is either utilize like a gray card, utilize like a passport color checker or something like that. One of the things that I do when I'm on, because I don't utilize a gray card or a passport color checker when I'm on location. When I'm in studio, I generally utilize those things. But when I'm on location, the one thing that I do is I look at the back of my camera and I try to make sure that the image that I'm capturing looks the same way that my eye is seeing it. And if it matches up closely, then I know the white balance that I intend to capture is the correct one. So that's one way that I check my my white balance, is just to look at the back of my camera to make sure that that image I captured is exactly what I'm seeing. So that's one, or I should say that's the second way. The third way is to make sure that your screen, your computer screen that is, or your monitor, is properly calibrated, okay? So you need to make sure that you do that in order to make sure that you could see, these color issues, okay? And then before publishing your images, like maybe on, any type of social media or anything like that, publish it to yourself and view the image, on a couple of different platforms, like, your iPad, your phone, different monitors and stuff like that. Just check it out to see if you see any disparity between the colors on those different devices. And if you do, then you have a white balance issue, right? So when I look at your image falls on a little bit more of the cooler side, okay? So that's why I know that you have a little bit of a white balance issue here. So how do you correct the white balance? Obviously, if you're using Lightroom, you could use the eyedropper in Lightroom and, just zoom in on his eyes, and basically on the white of his eyes, you could just use that, use the eyedropper, and it could probably try to correct the white balance in that way. But if you're not using Lightroom, right, since we're using Photoshop here, I'm going to show you guys how to correct the white balance in Photoshop. So the first thing you need to do is basically add a layer. Now, if you guys can't see the screen, just basically drop a comment and let me know. But you add a new layer, okay? So add that layer. Then you go to Edit, and then you go to Fill. And then what you want to do is choose 50% gray, okay? Then hit OK. So now you have a 50% gray layer, okay? The next thing you want to do is add what they call here the threshold. Where is it? Here. So click that, double click on the window. Where is my window? I think it popped up on a different screen. I can't see it. Where's my slider? I think it popped up on a different screen and it's hidden. I can't see it. I don't usually use this computer for editing, so where is it? I can't see it. Hang on, let me find it here. It's hidden somewhere. Char paragraph. Where is it? Show hide sliders. Ah. I might have to switch it to my laptop because I'm not really sure why is it not showing me this get rid of this threshold. Yeah, where the heck is it? That's not it. Oh, that is interesting. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know where my threshold window is. It's not popping up. Ah, here it is. It's supposed to be a separate window. Anyways, I'm used to it popping up in a separate window on my laptop, but it's right here. All right, so let me move this out. I want to move it out because I'm used to it being separate. So let's do that. All right. Okay, so here's your threshold. Okay, so what you want to do with the threshold is you want to take it all the way down to 0. Okay, and then you bring it back to somewhere around, let's see here. Something is not right. I'm not even seeing any peaks and valleys. Something is not going on right here with this threshold. Why is it not working properly? All right, hang on. Multiple ways to skin a cat. So let's try another way. Let's kill this. Let's go. Give me 1 second, guys. Just have to find. I wish I could switch to my laptop, but I can't. See, yeah, there's something going on here, funky. It's not working the way it's supposed to. All right, well, apologies, guys. Can't get it done here. And I don't have Lightroom installed on this computer either. So I would have to come back to this. So let's just go to the next image. And if I could figure it out before I close out this live broadcast, I will show it to you. But this is super critical in order to do the white balance, the threshold. Well, the technique that I was going to show you guys anyways. The threshold is super critical. But what I will try to do is, I know what I'll do. I will switch to my laptop, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to switch when I'm done with the review of the second image. And I'll show you guys it on my laptop as opposed to this computer, because this is my computer that does pretty much everything as far as the live broadcast. It could handle the feed. My laptop cannot. So, but I'll show it to you guys. So stay tuned. I will definitely show it to you. I'll switch it to my laptop and I'll show it to you. All right, but let's continue. So let me delete these because obviously I can't use this. Get rid of that. So one other thing that I wanted to show you guys with this particular image, assuming that, you know, you put it into the right white balance and stuff like that, I thought, I was just playing around with it, and I thought that this particular image, it will look nice if it was in black and white. And I guess, you know, that's totally subjective, right? So I just, yeah, there's something definitely going on. Oh, I didn't turn it on. So yeah, I just thought it would look good in black and white. And like I said, that's totally subjective, but that was just my 2 cents. I don't know what you guys think. So I'm gonna jump into the comments to see what you guys have to say. And before I move on to the next image, which the next image should be really quick, which means I'm gonna switch to my laptop, and then I'll show you guys this, how to do the white balance in your Photoshop. I don't know what's going on with my Photoshop here on this computer, but I'll definitely show it to you guys on my laptop, which will mean I'll have to start a new stream. So stay tuned. I'll probably end this one when we're done, and I'll start a new stream. So just hang around and I'll show you guys. So don't go anywhere. I'll show you guys how to do it. So this is this image. So let me go to your comments here and see what you guys have to say. So Jerome is saying, your videos have really inspired me to practice a lot more. I appreciate all that you share. Awesome work. Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate that. Cool shot, but I feel like it could use a little more color temperature. Just my opinion. You're right. And I'll get to that as soon as I could switch over to my laptop. And then Jerome is saying, I was thinking black and white as well. Yes, black and white definitely. For me personally, I think it works great. But obviously, I think if you put this, once the white balance is, let me see if I have Lightroom on this computer. I don't think I have Lightroom on this computer. Let's see. Ah, I do. Let's bring it up. And then maybe I could then maybe I could get the white balance right, at least in show on, you know what? We're not gonna try that. Let's see here. This is gonna take a while to open or something. Let me pull this off screen because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. As you could tell, I don't use this computer that much for editing. There's too many stuff going on here. Hang on. Let me drag this image. Give me 1 second, guys. I just want to show you guys I just want to show it to you. That's all. Oops. Bring it over. Well, at least you get to see two techniques tonight. The Lightroom and also Photoshop. All right, so I think, make sure. Still giving me a whole bunch of tips and stuff. All right, so here in Lightroom, you can also correct the white balance, right? So if you go to the develop module and you click on the white balance selector, and if you zoom in here, even if you don't have a color checker, and you zoom in on the subject's eyes, right? On the sclera, I believe that's what they call this, the sclera. You click on the sclera and then zoom out, and that gets you a quick white balance. You could obviously tweak this a little bit if you think it's a little bit too warm or something like that, and you could tweak it. But that way you could correct the white balance really, really quickly in a particular image. All right, but that's not the method I wanted to show you guys. I still want to show you guys the one in Photoshop, so stay tuned for that. I'll definitely show it to you. All right, so now let's move on to the next image. So this image here was submitted by Alex Herbert. So Alex Herbert, he shot this on a Canon T6S and at an f-stop of 5.6. The shutter was 1/160th of a second at 64, and then the ISO was 100. He utilized natural light and bare flash off camera, and I'm assuming that bare flash was to camera right. So I'm gonna blow through this really quickly because this image off the top is a very great image. So there's not much to adjust with this particular image. So lighting wise, like I said, I believe the light, the off-camera flashlight is coming in from camera right. The way I could tell that is because you have the subject's face nice lit here, and then you have the nice shadow, which basically gives that nice depth and dimension, which is what I like in most images. So this is pretty awesome from a lighting perspective. Okay. As far as the highlights back here, that doesn't really bother me that much, or it's fine. So from a lighting perspective, I think you pretty much got it spot on. I don't think there's anything else you need to do here with respect to lighting. So great job with that. From a posing perspective, I really like the casual nature of her pose. It's a very elegant. It's very elegant. There's really nothing. I mean, if I wanted to be super picky about, changing something up, I'll just say, add some gaps between her, give her some gap here so you could see her waistline, and that's about it. But that's being super picky about it. But I really, really like the pose. It's casual, and also like the fact that she's connecting really, really well to the camera. So she have a wonderful expression. So from a posing perspective, it's great. So moving on to the composition. So from a compositional perspective, again, I don't see anything wrong with the composition. But again, if I wanted to be very, very super, super, super picky, and this is being very picky, is probably just make sure that the tree here is coming to the edge. So you have like this line going up here. And again, that's just super picky. Do you have to do that? No. But that's just a super picky thing. But yeah, great composition. Now, post-production. Let me go into Photoshop here. So from a post-production perspective, a couple of things that I noticed, right? Fingers, her fingers were slightly chopped off. So I guess from a compositional perspective, probably give a little bit more breathing room there. But that's about that. Catch lights, just adding a little bit more catch lights in our eyes. And then the hair. Again, this is being super picky. This part here, you really, really don't have to do, but this is being super picky. So those gaps in her hair, if you fill it in, I think it would, give this image just a little bit more attention. So I attempted to do that really quickly, adding in the hair. So this is the before, and then this is the after. Obviously, it's not a great job, but I think this basically helps me to focus a little bit more on your subject's face. Not that it didn't before, but I just think now, again, being super picky, I think that offers a little bit more to the image. All right, so that's it. That's all I had to say about your particular image. I really think you did an awesome job with this image. Light and posing, your composition. I think all that stuff was all spot on. Even your post-production, the skin work that you did on your subject's face, I really think that's great. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about your particular image, Alex. I think you did a great job here. So guys, if you have any comments, drop it in the comment section so we can have a conversation about this particular image. But before I move on to showing you guys how to do that step in Photoshop, let me show you, basically say one more time how you guys can submit your images for critique, in case you're joining us now. So if you go to Facebook and you go to a group called Fine Art Photography and Modeling, and if you're not a member of that group, you need to request to become a member of the group. And once you request to become a member of the group, then you will be prompted with 3 questions, photography questions. And if you don't answer those questions, you don't come into the group. But if you answer the questions, you will get into the group. Once you're in the group, there's a pinned post at the very top of the group. And in that pinned post, in the comment section, you just go to the comment section and you would submit your image, and your image would then be critiqued in the order that it was submitted. Okay, so it's really that simple. And then obviously there's all, you could definitely share your own images in the group itself. So it's not just about critiquing images, you could definitely share your images as well. So that is how you could do it. Now, lastly, just as a plug, follow myself and Wayne, Wayne who does the video, on Instagram. So this is Wayne's Instagram. So follow him on Instagram. If you guys want to see like all the behind the scenes video gear that he used for the videos and stuff like that, you know, he posts all that stuff there. Like this is the new rig that he's using now. I have no idea what this is called again. I forget what it's called. Maybe that's it. Tilt Amex, I think. I don't know. But he has all the you know, the behind the scenes rigs that he has. So if you guys are interested about how the videos are captured, he will be a very good person to follow to get that. And this O is not a 0, it's an O. So if you're looking for him, is Wayne Wonder with an O. All right, and then give me a follow on YouTube as well. My YouTube on Instagram. Joe Pulse is my Instagram handle, so give me a follow over there, and then you know you'll be able to see my images that I post. I generally just post images, and that's about it. All right, now let me go to your comment section to see what you guys have to say, and then I'll definitely show you guys that trick on how to do it in Photoshop. So let me switch off here. Switch to comments. All right, so what do you guys have to say? While I'm trying to figure this out, I'm going to bring up my laptop and my Photoshop so I can show you guys this stuff. This was Sean D. Thomas images. Oh, shoot, can't see, look. So Jerome is saying black and white with a little more contrast, and it drop a little of the highlights. Okay, so he was talking about Shandi's image, the one that I'm having an issue right now in Photoshop, trying to convert into while trying to fix the white balance in Photoshop. So let me see here. What I will do now. So if you guys are tuning in right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video really quick. Because I don't think I could, let me see something here. I'm going to start up my OBS on this PC, on this, my laptop. Okay. Let me see if I could steal this really quick. I'm gonna try to steal my YouTube feed. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying something here. Transition this. See here. I wanna share my desktop. Okay. All right, let me see if I could steal my feed. The audio might sound really bad, but we'll see. I don't know if it stole it yet. It's trying. But I think because I still have the other stream going, it doesn't want to take it. Yep, it failed. So let me stop this feed really quick, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to stop the feed really quickly, and I'm going to start it up again. So give me 1 second here.